with found footage, and I've learned to really appreciate this so much, is that in a traditional narrative, you can hide in the edit. You can, okay, we're switching from a wide to a close-up. With found footage, these two have to be there and they can't go anywhere. There's nowhere to get to escape. So it's a really fun aspect of the film, and something as someone that's seen it so many times, I really love and appreciate.
So I do want to talk in like the spirit of this being like a mix of like mystery, found footage, folk horror. What's your guys' like favorite like found footage film, mockumentary?
I'll just start like it feels so cliched when I answer this question because and it's often the comparables that I get or we have been getting is to the most famous ones, but I always go back to the first Paranormal Activity. I was 14 years old, living in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I was on E-Bombs World, if anybody remembers that website. And that's where it was like pre-YouTube or like around the same time, and that's where they did a lot of their marketing was on E-Bombs World. And I remember taking part in the marketing of that movie and being blown away and like, well, is this real or not? And then buying a ticket, had to get my like dad to buy me a ticket. And saw that movie and was so scared. And even though I knew it was fake because I had a brain back then, I just had such a good time because it was the first time I had experienced found footage. And I think I went and saw it 3 times in theaters. So, yeah.
I will say, I know we mentioned this maybe a couple times in the film. We talk about a little film called The Blair Witch Project, but I was so obsessed with that movie. And I was so into, again, the what I didn't even realize was called found footage at the time. I was very young, I think too young to be watching that, but don't tell my mom that I was probably like 8 or 9 years old when I watched that. And I watched it at a sleepover, and none of us could sleep. And it was like the first time I felt like I was really bonded by a film, and all of us just talking about it into the night and being convinced that it was 100% real. So that really did shape my my love of the genre. And then just horror as a whole, Hereditary for me is just such a one-of-one film.
In terms of found footage, I really like this film called Be My Cat, a film for Anne, which is just about a guy in Romania making a movie where he wants Anne Hathaway to be in the movie. It's insane, but it's so uncomfortable. And I just applaud the guy that made the film. I think his name is Adrian Toffi. Anyways, it's amazing, but it's so uncomfortable.
What's it called?
Be My Cat.
Be My Cat.
Yeah,
okay.
A film for Anne, and I can't even explain it. It's just crazy, but I love it. But it's so uncomfortable. So that's what I appreciate in films where you're like, oh, this is so uncomfortable.
Sounds cool.
It's pretty good.
No, I've seen that. It's pretty insane. Yeah, it's so funny because you guys mentioned those films, and I can definitely see that like kind of intertwined into this, that kind of like vibe. So yeah, I love seeing that. So Markian and Sean, was there a specific like scene or idea that you guys built off of to conceptualize this film?
A specific scene. I mean, I don't think it's a specific scene. It was just like the genesis of the project came from watching, because I watched so many true crime documentaries. I'm part of that community of Netflix lovers. And I remember watching a documentary, and I forget which one it was, and I was like, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen. And I was like, this can't, what? And I Googled it, and no, like the filmmakers took the most, like the craziest route they could with like, just for entertainment's sake, and made things that weren't true seem very true, and everybody was really mad who was involved in the making of that documentary. And so I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because if I didn't Google this, I wouldn't have known the difference. I would have taken that's the truth of this case. And that's kind of the idea I went to Sean with, was can we create a case from scratch that feels like a true crime documentary today, until it doesn't. So is that accurate, Sean?
I think that what you're saying is accurate for sure. And it was like, it wasn't a specific scene. It was like more of an idea of trying to use a documentary, then turn it on its head. But a couple of the scenes that wound up being really important in the film, because we did this completely independently by ourselves, and we yeah. So when you're making a movie independently by yourself, you try to raise enough money, and we didn't have enough money to even get us through. We had enough to get through production, but we didn't have enough money to finish the film. But as we were making the movie, we cut 2 scenes together, which was the one with the detective Pam Hamilton yelling at Tara in her house. We cut that scene together with the scene of Markian and Miranda fighting in the parking lot, having the debate about whether they should go back into the forest or not. And we cut those 2 scenes together, and we took it back out to investors who had shown interest in the project. And that's how we closed our financing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, we basically started making the movie, and we're like, we don't have enough money to finish the movie, but we'll just start. And that's how we closed the funding.
Yeah.
Was we put those scenes together, and we're like, look, here's 5 minutes of us making this movie, and it looks real, and that's how we got people into the film.
The investors are like, it doesn't totally suck, so we'll give you more money.
But that scene with the detective with Pam Hamilton, it's like that's a 7-minute scene that you just it's a one take. There's no way to hide, and that's something about the film that I'm so proud about, is that with found footage, and I've learned to really appreciate this so much, is that in a traditional narrative, you can hide in the edit. We can, okay, we're switching from a wide to a close up. With found footage, you are like, these 2 have to be there, and they can't go anywhere. There's nowhere to get to escape. So it's a really fun aspect of the film, and something as someone that's seen it so many times, I really love and appreciate, is that there's an authenticity there that we can't cut away. That's
I heard
what it
somebody
is.
say it's like theater.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where we all come from. Like, Sean and I ran theater companies, and this is our first movie. So we were like, let's just run it like a play, because that's what we know. And, so it probably made the process a little easier to swallow from all of our, I'll speak for myself from my perspective, yeah.
Yeah, I also wanted to mention there's like a little Easter egg. I'm sure there's so many more Easter eggs that we can like go back to, but I saw this little Easter egg that I really liked where it said Nichols Production in the beginning of the film, which I was like, that grounded the story so much more, because it's sort of like within the story in itself.
And it is the production company we set up to do this thing. So it's like,
Wait, so it's a real one?
it's a real company.
Tara Nichols
That's how
Productions,
dedicated they
yes.
are, guys. Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
No, I love that. So Miranda, your performance carries so much of the film, especially in a format where there's nowhere to hide. So how did you prepare to maintain your level of presence in the film?
It's a great question. Sean kind of stole that's my actor answer, and you stole it that I've been peddling around town. No, just talking about how, like Sean very eloquently said, there is no way to hide in this this kind of filmmaking. You can't rely on, I'll get it in another take, or give me a couple to warm up and I'll really get there. So you really have to be in it from the beginning, and I think it asks of an actor to be messy and alive and kind of throw perfection out the window and just be present and connect to the story that we're trying to tell, which is something I hope to do as an actor at all times, but specifically in a genre like this, there's really no other way to do it. So we had a 12-day shoot, and we got on the bus, and we did not get off until day 12 and a half, because we know it took a bit to come down after all of that. And I think the preparation for something so immersive like this was really exciting. I started journaling in character, and I would make playlists, and I would listen to music that I thought Tara would listen to. And we got onto set, and it was a really unique experience because Markian was actually addressing me as Tara. I don't know if anyone in the room is a fan of the method acting, and I didn't ever count myself one.
Well, neither me.
No, but that's why it was
Felt right.
unique. It did, because this was already such a unique thing that we were setting out to do, so it kind of felt like it made sense. It didn't feel woo-woo or strange or put on in any way. Because we were making a film, and we were making a film within a film as well, it just kind of gave us a shorthand to tap in and be able to communicate as 2 actors in a piece in which one person is playing a director and one person is playing someone being directed, essentially.
Yeah, it was And I did that with everybody too, like on set. I would always like just
What?
talk to
I'm
me.
just
Yeah, it
kidding.
wasn't special. No, but it put me into like also just treating these people like real people, like that are doing an interview. You know what I mean? It just put me in a different mindset as a director to talk and keep them in that zone of flow constantly without breaking it, and that just really helped us. And I was probably looking at my watch and 12-day clock go down, so I was like, I have no time to waste and want to keep everybody as like on their toes as possible.
I had zero sense of time, so I appreciated that.
No, yeah, it definitely had a very, very natural feel, and I'm sure we can all agree on that, which honestly just made it even scarier. So, Sean, you chose to self-distribute this film at a really ambitious scale. What was the moment where you decided we're actually going to do this ourselves?
Okay, so the movie came out, we were playing in festivals, and we were not able to find a distribution deal that made sense for us in the sense that, hey, this industry is shifting very quickly, the markets are all upside down, and we decided to self-distribute. And so what we did is we did sort of a traveling road show where we went to AMC theaters, we went to Regal Cinemas, we went to Marcus theaters, we went to Cinemark, we visited with all the exhibitors, and we screened the film for them, and then we did a marketing pitch, and that's how we got the films, the exhibitors to get on board with giving us a theatrical. But to answer the question, when I really thought that this would be possible is when we did the very first meeting, which was in Knoxville, Tennessee, with Regal Cinemas at their head office. And we were watching the movie like in a screening room with all their executives and their marketing people. And as we're watching, no one reacted, like nothing. No laughs, no gasps, no one acting scared. The movie ended, no one applauded. And I was having like an existential crisis. I was like, oh, they hate it. They hate it.
they were
Like
just shocked.
I should give up. Like I should go get a new job, like a new career. And then, everyone breaks. We go back to the marketing office, and then I do the little song and dance of, I think we could do the marketing like this and ba-ba-da-ba. And it's like, pretend like it's real. And stone face, no one cared.
Ooh, tough crowd.
It was like terrible. And then we turned, we're like, what do you think, James? And he's the VP of programming, and he said, I have two daughters, one's 16 and one's 18. And I think that they would really like this movie. I think that they would love this movie. I think this could be this generation's Blair Witch. And then all of a sudden, like everyone came alive, like they were like no longer stone statues anymore. They were just waiting for the vice president to give his like nod of approval. And it was after that moment, I was like, oh, we could do this. Like, if the exhibitors will help us, this will work. So that was the moment I was like, oh, okay, they believe in us. Like, the theaters believe in us, so we can do this now.
But Sean's also underselling himself because like he is the reason we're here in front of you today, like truly. And there's also the genesis.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like all that guy. And also the genesis though, Sean, was you saw a YouTube video of the Fithian group, which is the connecting glue of this whole story. John Fithian and his company are the former directors of the National Association of Theater Owners, NATO, the other NATO. And Sean saw a YouTube video of them talking at Sundance last year about they're trying to do this new distribution model where they want to connect filmmakers with exhibitors directly and cut out the middleman, because the middleman's the problem a lot of the time, and who gets in the way. And then Sean just cold emailed them with the screener, and then they watched it and were like, we want to meet you. So then Sean and I had a meeting here in LA with like the Fithian group, and then that's how they were the ones that like connected. So it's like Sean was just cold emailing, and then he went out and pitched all the exhibitors individually. It's insane what he's accomplished on this movie. Yeah.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Please don't stop.
Wait, what's been the most surprising like aspect of self-distributing for you personally, for you guys?
I think it's like, for me, I don't know if I didn't think it would, I didn't underestimate the process. I am just shocked at how large of an undertaking it is. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I knew it was going to be a lot of work, but there's I'd say like 10 of us who are like running the campaign for a North American release. but we are engaging with probably 30 to 60 people. So overnight, we've had to create a studio system that we have 30 to 60 people reporting to us, and that we're delegating, who do like in theater marketing, there's just a company for every little aspect of every little thing.
That's great.
And you have to figure out who those people are, talk to them, take meetings with them. So I think just to me, I thought the exhibitors are, it's just like, you go to theaters and like, they'll like do these things for you. No, they'll be like, cool, like who's doing that for you? And you're like, I don't know who's doing that for us. Who's doing that for us? And then we have to like find out which company takes care of like promotional ticket items. Or like, you know, who's the company that sends out to like influencer boxes? And then who connects us with the things? And then who, like there's just, I've been shocked at the web and how we've had to just like...
The exhibitors are so wanting to help. Like the exhibitors want to get independent movies into theaters. They really do. Like they're like, yes, please, there's a way to do it. It's just that right now where we are in time, sort of post-COVID, is that the distributors, like the sort of, I don't know, mid-level distributors, they don't have the energy, time, resources to take those films and get them into theaters because it's so much work. And so they've abandoned that and they've said, okay, just streaming. But so there's a problem there. So.
I will say too, I've had the pleasure of also being an EP on the project, so I have had the opportunity to, you know, kind of be involved in this rollout process, and it's been pretty incredible to see the people who will come on board when they believe in a product, and I think that speaks to the film that you two have made and the that we've all, you know, been working on for quite a good chunk of time now. And I think the right people will find the right project if you are going forward and adamantly believing in what you have made. So that's given me a lot of hope as a filmmaker myself, as an actor, as a creative. Just if you really believe in the work that you're doing, that your product is good and that it deserves to be in front of audiences, and you're steadfast, I think the right people will collide with the project.
And I think the exhibitors, they've been so supportive because they don't get weird movies like this anymore even offered to them. Like no one's even trying. So, you know, and we talked about this morning in another interview of like, well, who's dictating what kind of movies get to go to theaters now? Only like certain types, because that's what everybody's like, only Marvel movies work, only the big films, when all films used to work, but, you know, we've just really, really shifted in our habits as audience members of like, what do we go to the theater for? And if I know for me, if I had the opportunity to go see weird little indies at the theater, I would, but they're just not even there. So the 15 group and I think the exhibitors are all trying to find a new way of getting weird movies like this to theaters, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad you guys are pushing this out yourselves. Honestly, this was amazing to watch. Yeah, I got chills. So I also did want to ask you guys, there are a lot of films trying to play into the same space. So what do you think makes Hunting Matthew Nichols, or what do you think Hunting Matthew Nichols does differently that makes it stand out from the other films in the same genre?
I think for me, I wanted to create something in the middle, which is also the confusing thing about this movie, where it's not a found footage movie. I wouldn't consider it a found footage movie, but that's the genre we've been slapped with. The last 10 minutes are, for sure, but then it's not found because Markian survived and I wanted the movie to get made. So it's like if I were to break down anyways. But then we're not quite a mockumentary because we have a lot of narrative elements that are very reminiscent of, you know, of feature films, like a score with themes. And it also looks, I really pride in Justin's work with cinematography. I don't think I've ever seen a found footage that looks like this, this is Justin, our cinematographer, that's as beautiful as what I, you know, hopefully put together here. So we're in this weird space with this film that is like not here, not there. It is something new to me. And yes, there are a lot of things that I drew upon or you've maybe seen before as an audience member, but I don't think has been packaged like this before. And it just offers something different to the found footage community where, yeah, it's a docudrama for 90% of it with a little horror sprinkled in the end that all kind of like comes to there. But that's also the point of it to me, that it was an exercise in can I create a dramatic hero's journey with Tara that is very much reminiscent of like a dramatic mockumentary that I just haven't really seen done like that because it's yeah, it's bizarre, and it's not everybody's cup of tea for sure. But I don't know. I'm just so proud of like it being different in that way, and it separates itself from the pack because it's not your shaky cam for an hour and a half like Blair Witch, yet it's not. It's not. It just lives somewhere weird, and I pride myself in that fact about the movie.
I think also the commitment to the bit.
Yeah.
And that is a huge, that's a big ups to, the marketing team and Markian and Sean and everyone who has had a hand in bringing this to where it is right now. But in the early days of festivals, like I wasn't even credited in the film because we were going with this narrative that it was like Tara Nichols, which I was down with. I'm like, let's do it. Let's go all in if this is the thing. I think you even asked me beforehand. You were like, listen, this is what we're trying to do. Are you still okay to act in this film? And I said, absolutely. This is like an actor's dream to disappear completely into something. But I think as time has gone on and as the film has evolved and the marketing has evolved, we still stayed committed to like, listen, we know what this is. We know it's not real. It's not the 90s anymore. You can't trick someone in the way of, is this really a real thing? But what we're doing is we're inviting people to come on the journey with us, and we're saying, let's play, let's have fun. That's what this is about. Come to the theater and come to see this and get on board with this world we've created. We know it's not real, but would it kill you to pretend that it is for 90 minutes, maybe a week?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Sean does a great job. He describes about what we're, and I suggest everybody go check out our Instagram after
Very
this.
cool.
It's insane for this movie and the things we've been building for years. Port Rupert, the town where this exists, has had an Instagram going for over 2 years and like responds and gets in fights with people, and people get very passionate.
It's real. It's super real. Totally real.
Yeah, Sean describes it as we're doing the WWE of filmmaking, where it's like, we're presenting it as real, right? But we all know it's not. Can we just have a good time with it? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I love that. Sean, did you want to add anything?
I mean, it's an invitation really to do stuff that's outside just the film as well, to have an interactive, immersive website, to have characters that you can explore beyond just the film itself. And it's just trying to give audiences more stuff to react to and engage with. And we just love this film so much, and we've worked on it for so long, and we're just so proud of it. And we just want to invite audiences to like, here's all this other stuff. Here's deleted scenes. Here's behind the scenes stuff. Here's a game that you can play on your phone that's attached to it. Like, I don't know why we did all this, because it wasn't because we were bored, but we were like, okay,
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
We need a physical release with all the special features. Yeah. Okay, and then for our last question, what's a memory from the set that you guys are going to take home with you?
Memory from set.
I'll go first on this one because it's very vivid for me. We did the last cabin scenes. We shot those on the last days, and we were totally zonked. And I remember doing the seance, and remember I was there with the special effects gentleman. I forget his name, but
yeah.
I had to cue him to tap him to when to pull the string.
Yeah.
So I was always on the string making it move, and I had to we had to go and shuffle around to get to the other side to make it pull to the right.
In my periphery, I'm like,
You could see us
Maddie,
moving, but
and
we
I just
were-
see like walking.
Yeah.
I really wish we had like a behind the scenes crew. Our stuff in the forest. If you had it turned out great, but it's so janky what we did. But yeah.
I haven't thought about that. That is funny.
Yeah, I love that part.
Markian and I don't know if anyone here is familiar with Vancouver Island, but we took the ferry over from Horseshoe Bay in the Lower Mainland over to Nanaimo, and then we drove up to the northern tip of Vancouver Island, and we really did that, and we shot while we drove. So it's what, like a 6 or 7 hour drive. It's a long drive.
Yeah, 7 hour drive.
And we did it, and we were talking about this earlier. It was funny because we'd hop in and out of character. We'd be talking as ourselves, and then we would really have to shoot something. So then we'd be like, okay, yeah, here we go. And then all of a sudden we would just drop immediately into that. And I think that it was earlier on in the shoot as well when we did that. And that was a moment for me that I was like, oh, this is very cool, and this is going to work, I think.
Yeah, I just sat in the car with the camera on my lap.
Yeah.
And then, we'd just be talking, and I'd be like, "Okay, the light's right. Are you feeling like
Yeah.
you want to talk about this?" And then just click record, and then keep
And then
going.
we keep going.
I think for me, what stands out the most was day number 1, because the scene with Tara and Pam at the table, that one shot was our first scene that we ever shot in the movie. And I remember watching Miranda and Christine work and do that scene, and I was deathly scared because I knew that was the pivotal scene of the movie and the real turning point in the story. And if I didn't feel good about that scene, I would have been defeated after day one and been like, oh God, no, this is not going to work out. But then on take one, they did what they did. I think we have take number 3 is in the movie, but take one was just amazing. And I was like a sigh of relief on the first day to be like, okay, I think there's something happening here. And Miranda is so good and Christine is so good. So the 2 pivotal characters in my movie it's going to work out and everything's going to be okay. And I just remember watching in awe you guys work that day. And it was just like amazing.
Yeah, that was an amazing scene to start day one. It was really like, okay, let's go. Here we are.
It's like, okay, we're in it now.
We're in it.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, thank you guys so much for your answers. This was honestly breathtaking to watch at the very end. I was telling my friend, I'm like, the payoff was crazy. Yeah. But guys, thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate all of you, and
Thank
take
you
your
so
friends
much.
to go see this
Yes.
film because
Take your friends, talk about it online, and we want to finish the story off and make a sequel, so we hope it does well
we
this
need a
weekend.
sequel.
So,
We need a
gotta finish the
sequel.
story off. Thanks.
Where
Yeah,
did she
thank you
go?
guys. Good night.